Hey girlfriends, look at our surprise special guest. We have a gray-haired model that has agreed to show you additional curly strands and how we manage these grays and this salt and pepper with different textures in different areas of the hair. So come along, here we go. We're going to do a wash and go, step 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I reckon so.
And 4 on our model here. So with every wash and go process, we start with saturating the hair. So we're going to start by fully saturating Mr. Smith's hair. Thank you, Mr. Smith. We'll see how that thing goes. I probably should have heated this up a little bit similar. So for Mr. Smith's hair, this front section and the nape of the neck is the same texture. The sides are the same and the middle is different. So we have 3 different zones here. So you don't mind cool water?
No, I don't mind cold water.
Terrible.
Ooh. Ooh. It's not that cold.
Sorry.
Okay.
You're just gonna go from one extreme to that's a little better.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little better. So water is your first product. Water is the most important product. And you want to saturate the hair for a good 5 to 10 minutes before you use shampoo. Do you want to tell?
Sure. Okay.
That was the water bottle. Well, I mean, I'm still gonna wet you up some more.
It's getting too hot now.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, that heat, once it comes, it's pretty good. So when you saturate your hair, you don't want to just get your hair wet by just running the water. Just running the water over your hair. You want to actually work the water into your hair, and each section that you saturate, you want to massage the scalp just to make sure that you remove the product buildup, any product buildup from the previous days since you last washed your hair. So we're going to just give Mr. Smith the scalp massage as we go through and work in the water. Water is a product. Water is the first product. Water is the most important product. And when you saturate your hair, you want to work the water into your hair, not just wet it. And you'll definitely see your hair change. You'll see the weight of the water change your hair and start to form your curls. Like I can already see the coils and the pattern of his hair as it's getting wet. And we're just going to do this all over. I would say you have a mixture of low porosity and high porosity, actually. It doesn't really take your hair a long time to get wet. I guess in certain areas, that's why I say a mixture. It's like I can put water in your hair and I take the water away. It doesn't look like I put water in it. And that's mainly on these side sections. Like the front, I can tell it takes the water. The middle section actually takes the water good, and the nape of your neck, the side sections, have to rub it in a little bit more. It may actually seem like a long time that you are saturating your hair with water, but just think about like the products that you put in your hair. You know, Monday you put something in your hair, Tuesday you may have put something different in your hair, Wednesday, Thursday, and just every day during the week, depending upon how long it's been since you've washed it. If it's been 2 weeks since you've washed it, then you know, taking a few extra minutes to rinse that out is okay and absolutely necessary. And if you have hair that's this length, you'll probably mostly be using your fingers to get through the hair, to massage the water from roots to tip, so that you can stretch out your curls. Is that too hot?
No. But you get to turn it down a notch if you like.
The heat, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put it on a different pressure. You got some hang time. I know you don't want it to hang. If this were me and my hair at this length, I would definitely be pulling it down this way to stretch out these curls so that my style can show my curl length. Mr. Smith don't necessarily want that. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how to saturate your hair with grays. There's some gray hair in here, some black hair, some half gray hair, some brown hair, and they're all doing their own thing. They're all doing their own thing. For Mr. Smith, because he's not necessarily a fan of the smells. Are you?
Now you darling.
Yeah, so if I'm wearing it, he loves it. But if not, he doesn't want to smell it on himself. So I did 3 pumps of shampoo. We haven't washed the hair in about 7 days. So I want to make sure that we get off all of the previous serums, leave-in conditioners. What else did you put in your hair this week? Just leave-in conditioner?
That's about it.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure we get all of that off. So the shampoo, you want to focus on the scalp. The reason I'm kind of picking through here is I'm starting the detangling process early. So I'm working my way through the hair in kind of a detangle effort. But then I'm going to go back and focus on the scalp. The Aloe Vera shampoo is definitely soothing for your scalp. It's clarifying shampoo. It's a mild clarifying shampoo, so it helps to remove buildup. And I am using the pads of my finger. Think about it, if you're snapping your fingers, that's the part that you want to use. You don't want to use your fingernails. I don't want to scratch his scalp, although he might like it. You don't usually have an itchy scalp, do you?
Nope.
So the pads of my fingers work well. And as I'm shampooing his hair, I can still see even more of the curls coming through. Can you hold your head down a little? You can still see the curls coming through even more, okay, with the shampoo. So each step of the 4-step process is hydrating. This mild clarifier shampoo, it's going to help to remove buildup on his scalp. And he doesn't have dandruff, but if you do have a dry scalp, this helps with dandruff. as well. And we're just gonna make sure that we get that scalp clean. Get that scalp clean. Get that scalp clean. Get that scalp clean. And all over. So I can tell that your hair is actually really drinking up the shampoo, so we need some more water. And it's mostly in this top section here. After we massage everywhere, I'm gonna do that. The back of your hair and the front of your hair. Take water in a lot better. Easier. It's like we used it all. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back on just so you know. Okay. So we're gonna rinse this and we're gonna do another shampoo. And I can see the texture of his hair, because as an afro you can't tell the texture because all of the strands are doing their own thing. No one is joining forces. Now they've joined forces and we have a clean scalp. Okay. When you're rinsing out the shampoo, you definitely want to make sure that you get it all out. You do not want any of this shampoo left in your hair, because that would be more product buildup on your hair, and the other things that we're going to add, the other goodness that we're going to add on your hair, would be laying on top of the shampoo, and we don't want that. We want your hair to be bare so that it can accept everything that we're putting on. And I can tell by the feel of his hair that it's definitely hydrated. Like it has a different feel, like not a rough feel, but a heavier feel. I can definitely tell that it's hydrated. I'm gonna share my vanilla berry. Oh, I just scraped the wall. Let me get that. And I'm using 5 pumps of vanilla berry to go in and start applying it to the hair. And with CurlMix, you really don't need a lot of product. But you definitely want to make sure that you use enough to get the style and the set that you want and that you're looking for. As you can see, you can see the curls that we have here, and I am able to run my finger through, even though we haven't technically detangled or anything. I wanted to, if your hair is this length or if it's even a little bit shorter, I do want to show you how you can still section your hair and twist the part of your hair that can be twisted. I do finger parting with my hair, but you can do smaller sections, and you can use smaller clips. These are the clips that I use for my hair, this length, or the green ones. I use those. For Mr. Smith, you can use this, or you can use something that's small like this, and that will help to section your hair and get it out of the way. I'm putting that one there just so that you can see and know what I'm talking about. We're going to go in with the detangle. Did you bring your red on too?
No, I think I left it.
That's okay. This is so easy to detangle. This is a dream to detangle. Nothing like mine. So definitely want to detangle in smaller sections, and starting on the very end, work through the very end first and continue to work your way up that section of hair till you get all the way to the top. And then once you detangle a section, you can of course twist it. And we'll do this one. I'll show you starting at the very end, and then work your way up. If your hair is easy to detangle, you may not need to start at the end. You may just be able to go right in and tangle the entire thing, which I can do that with his hair. Don't necessarily need the clips. I can go in and detangle the entire thing. And there is some shed hair coming out, but not a lot. It's important to do your hair in sections when you detangle if you have tightly coiled hair. It's easier for you and you have more control over getting through that section and more control over how you style that section. and you also have more control over the way your product is distributed once you get to step 3 and 4. And we are fully detangled. I'm just going to take these out because I just did it because I could and it was cute. Fully detangled, now we can rinse. You can actually do a deep condition with the conditioner that's in the 4-step process. If you add the conditioner on your hair, you can use a plastic cap and then sit under the dryer for 10 minutes. Or you can use a plastic cap. If you don't have a hooded dryer, you can put a very hot towel, as hot as you can stand and squeeze out. After you add the plastic bag on your hair, put that hot towel over the plastic bag, and that will generate some heat for your deep condition. Okay. Now we're ready for step 3. We're ready for the moisturizer.
Yay!
I know you're ready. So I'm still going to do this in sections. It's to your advantage to do it in sections and not to put it in your hair and just put it all over. I'm going to do actually a section from ear to ear in the back here, and I'm going to use a long clip simply because I'm trying to separate this long section in the back. Thank you, model. Just a natural. And this just helps me to get this out of the way so that I can focus on this bottom section right here. And this is what the 2 pumps of conditioner look like in my hand. And once you put it in your hand, you want to make sure that you rub it together and emulsify it in your hand so that it looks smooth like this. And then you can go in and start applying it into your hair. And I'm just like clasping this on his hair. And for me, I use a water bottle. I can't get to the water bottle, so I think I'm just going to have to use the shower head. So as you're putting the moisturizer in first, see, I still have product on my hand, so we're just working it in right now. First, you want to rub it, rub the product down the strands, and you can feel that it is, going on the entire strand. And we're rubbing the hair out and smoothing it. And then after you rub it, you want to rake your fingers through. Just stick your fingers through and pull in every direction. And that helps to distribute it as well. I'm going to do that on this side. Look at those coils. And I'm going to add some more water. Can you reach the water bottle? That black bottle. Thank you. I'm going to turn the water on. Can you just put that? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to add more water to the back of his hair since I just put moisturizer on there. Now I'm adding more water because you definitely want to make sure their hair is fully saturated and dripping wet before, during, and after you add the products. And if you see what these curls look like after I've added the water and worked it in, you can see they're even more defined after adding that water. It looks totally different. And we're going to go to the next section. We're just going to make another horizontal section and pin this hair up. Ooh, sorry, I think I pulled her hair. And then we're going to add water. Saturate it really, really good. I'm going to put it on the shelf. The water is like dripping in there. And the way that you know if you have enough water in your hair is, maybe I do need if you squeeze the hair in your hand, you can hear it. If you can hear it, then you've got a good amount of water in there. If you don't hear anything, like this part right here, you can't hear it. So that means, I mean, we didn't put any water up there, but it means that it doesn't have enough water. So we're going to do 3 pumps of between, can you turn around that way? The difference between the bottom of his hair, the way it's curled, and this is just with the moisturizer on there, versus the tops. You can definitely tell the difference. This is moisturized and hydrated, and this is just, you know, shampooed and conditioned. So this step definitely makes a huge difference with getting you towards setting your curls. So if you can see a curl in your hair, then you can set that curl in your hair and wear that curl for the week. And by us adding the water throughout, before and after, we have hydrated the hair a lot. And Mr. Smith probably has, yeah, his water's dripping off of his hair still. So we're done with our water source. We have our moisturizer on there. And for him, this would be normally the place where he would stop because he's not a big fan of gel. But being the good sport he is, we're gonna put gel on today. I'm gonna turn the water on. So I'm rinsing my hands. I'm rinsing my hands because you don't want to mix number 3 and number 4. Like you can't rub the products together and then put it on your hand because it clumps. You want to put them on separately and then make sure that your hands are clean from each one. And we don't need any water anymore. So once again, I'm going to start in the back. I'm going to do 2 pumps of 4. Emulsify that in my hand. And then I'm going to start to rub it through the back. And so I can actually feel when the gel is rubbed in because the hair doesn't feel slippery. Once I start rubbing, I can tell exactly when the gel is rubbed in. Because with the moisturizer on there, the hair feels slippery. But once you add the gel and you rub it in, it changes the texture, it changes the feel. It goes from feeling slippery to feeling, back to its normal roughness, which the normal texture, I should say, just non-slippery. And it means that this gel that we're putting on now is creating a cast. This is creating a cast on our hair. And that just means it's a layer of protection. It's a layer of hold. It's a layer of keeping your curl to look exactly how it looks right now when it's wet. So depending upon the length of your hair, you can rake it, and then if your hair is longer, you'll be able to shape the coils into place. But if it's shorter, you can just rake it and then position it with your fingers. We're going to use 2 last pumps of gel for the front section. And I'm just grabbing the hair in my hand and raking through and pulling through from the root. And a lot of this dripping that you see is the water. It's all the hydration that we have. And you don't want to squeeze all that water out of your hair. You want to be gentle with your hair to keep as much moisture in there as you can, so that when you dry your hair, you'll have that moisture and you'll have it protected from the gel and from the avocado moisturizer. Got some definition. actually see a little buildup right here, so I'm just going to rake that through, distribute it. Okay, I think we're ready to diffuse. Woohoo! We have a mirror here. Having a mirror in the shower is definitely the way you want to go, because you can see what the water does to your hair. You can see what the moisturizer does to your hair. You can see your hair at every stage of application and what you're putting on there and what it looks like, and if you need to rub something in. So here's this mascara from the side, and then from this side. Can you look at the wall? You can see the back. And the back. Very cute and curly. Here's the diffuser, and as you can see, it's a round sheet attachment on your dryer. And all diffusers are not created equally. I don't know, I feel like I'm stuffing this in your head, in your face. All diffusers are not created equally. Some diffusers have the prongs that come out, and you can see that there's holes in these prongs where the air comes out of, but some diffusers don't have these prongs and they're just flat. But well, this is what it looks like this way. If I turn it this way, I can't see that it's prongs. That's showing the holes. Some diffusers are flat. They don't have these prongs, so you know you can look at it like this, and it does look flat. So the settings that we're going to use are low and low. I'm going to put it on low and on cool. And what you want to do is you want to use the blow down method, and it's basically the same idea of sitting under the dryer, sitting under a hooded dryer. We're not sitting under a hooded dryer tonight. We're just going to diffuse, and we're going to hover the diffuser over until the outer shell of his hair is dry. And once the outer shell is dry, we'll be able to go into the roots. And the prongs are good because you can stick this gently into the hair only after it's dry so that you can get down into the roots and dry those roots. And when you stick this into your hair, you're not going to massage it around. You don't need to do that. You're going to gently stick it in there after everything else is dry. And whatever your curls look like right now, that is what you're setting. So if you're not happy with the way your curls are, then you're not going to be happy once it dries. But anyway, so if you do notice that you have water droplets at the end of your curls, what you can do is you can just flick that water away with your finger. In our list of tools needed, the microfiber towel was listed. If you want to use the microfiber towel to gently squeeze that water out just on the tip of your hair, you can do that. At that time is when you can use the towel. But other than that, you do not want to put a towel on your head. You want it dripping wet still, which it is. I flicked some water spots off of the bottom of his curls. And you want your hair to be wet because it still has gel on there, and we're setting what we see. All the curls that you see right now, you are setting. If you're not happy with it right now, you're not going to be happy with it when it dries.
whole time? You wasn't recording the whole time?
No, I turned it off when I turned the dryer on. But,
Gotcha.
because I was like, I don't need to record the whole thing while we're drying.